Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is Vin2400. This is a 2017 223, which is Caviar with LA30 red interior. Has orange calipers, and it's for sale on Auto Trader in Fontana, California, at an independent dealer with 65,000 miles with one of these call for price. I did wait a couple days. I actually contacted this dealer, tried to get somebody to call me back, couldn't get an answer. I know they're a pretty large dealer, but couldn't get an answer. And I couldn't get a call back. Nobody wanted to sell this car to me, apparently. I'm not trying to buy it, but nobody wanted to give me any more info on it. And so I don't know how much they're asking for it, and I don't have any photos of it either. I don't have any prior photos. I have about 100 or so cars that I have no prior photos of for when it was for sale, even new, nothing on this one. So if you guys have any photos of this car, if you've inquired about it, any other info on it, leave it in the comments. And if you have photos, my email address is right here as always, and it's always at the end of the video. But yeah, it would be tremendously helpful as far as looking at condition of this car regarding that. But I can give you what I know on paper. And so here we go. Production statistics: 448 out of the 2,348 cars for the US 49 were Caviar. Of those 448, 202 had LA30 red interior. The fourth most common interior or color combo on these cars: white with red, white with black, black with black, and then this car, black with red. That's 8.6% of all of the US 49 production was this color combo. So it's like a 2 or 3 out of 10 for rarity. For 2017 though, much lower production. 66 out of the 342 cars were Caviar, and 28 of those had LA30 red interior. So this car is one of 28 at its rarest. Rare because it's a 2017, but it's otherwise fairly common color combo. Carfax, Epic VIN, and AutoCheck. Carfax shows this as a 2-owner, no accidents car, Florida and California car. Epic VIN shows this as a 2-owner, no accident car. And AutoCheck also shows this as a 2-owner, no accident car. So pretty safe to assume this is a 2-owner, clean title, no accidents, Florida and California car. Previous sales. This car first went on sale in May of 2017, $88,000 in Florida, and it sold in November of 2017, so like 6 months for sale. November 14th of 2020, no price listed, but with 28,000 miles in Florida, and it sold in 4 days to a buyer in California. And now here it is, April of 2026, call for price with 66,000 miles in Fontana, California, so in Southern California. This is normally where I would talk about the photos. However, there are none. So if you're inquiring about this car, obviously ask for tons of photos, ask for the touch points, the steering wheel, the seat bolster on the driver's side, the armrest, just things that you touch, things that you sit on. Ask for photos of that. Look at the front end, make sure it's not super chipped up or anything, or if it is, not a big deal, but it's whether it has paint protection film on the front of it or not. Does it have a bunch of dents and scratches? The usual things you need to look at when looking at one of these cars. Make sure the carbon fiber trim is not delaminating, which is super common on all these cars, and would not be surprised if that's the case, but something else to inquire about. So now to the price. Without seeing the photos, I can only go off of on paper. So previous sales, previous asking prices, etc. Now, the market we're in, especially the last couple of videos you've heard me talk about this, about the last 60 days or so, the market has been trending up pretty hard, and it's related to there's a very small supply of these cars on the market right now. I think there's 6 or 7 that are available right now, and there's a tremendous demand for these cars. Usually the good ones sell within hours, if not minutes, of listing. And so you have to be really quick on the trigger, have all your notifications turned on, things like that, when you're looking for these. But that's beside the point. The price on this car, because it is accident-free and it's a 2017, so if it was a 2016 with these miles, it would be like upper 40s. This car should be retailing around the area of like $50,000 to $54,000. And again, it's highly dependent on if it needs a bunch of stuff. Typically when these cars come up for sale, they always need brakes and tires. So factor that in. Tires, $1,500. Brakes, if you do it at a dealer, $2,000. Do it yourself, $600. So $3,500 or so, that if they put $54,000 on the price, you probably need to be around 51 or so for it to make sense. Does it need the valley plate? Does it need other maintenance caught up? There's a lot of gotchas potentially on the price for this car, but I would say somewhere between 50 and 54 would be fair for the mileage because it is an accident-free example. It is a Florida and California car, so it's not like it came from the Rust Belt either. So with that said, let's look at the service history and see how well everything, because that's really all else we can go on for this car. So it is pretty well dealer service too. The first entry of note is April of 2018, the JLB recall. The parts were ordered and it was installed in May of 2018. So the high pressure fuel pump recall, done and out of the way. July of 2020, 25,000 miles, notes that it needs front brakes, but it wasn't done, but it appears that it was later done outside of Lexus. So either at an independent mechanic, they probably got a quote, saying it needs front brakes, it's gonna be $2,000. They said, forget it, I'll go do it somewhere else. And that's probably what they did. Because at the next service in December of 2020 at 30,000 miles, again, that's 5,000 miles later, they note that the tech notes the front brakes are at 8 millimeters. So 9 or 10 millimeters is new. So it had new brakes put on it, but it wasn't done through Lexus. And at that service, they note that the rear brakes were at 6 millimeters. So pretty typical for the mileage, 30,000 miles. The rear brakes are just about halfway through their life. So 2 millimeters is when the sensors will turn on and trigger the message on your dash that your brakes are low. December of 2020, 31,000 miles, the KLG was done. That's the GPS location. It's also known as the 19LE05. That is where the GPS reports the incorrect location. Sometimes it can be sluggish or things like that, but like you're on the main highway, it shows you off on the side road, something like that. It was addressed and sorted here. November of 2021, sunroof seal. Pretty common to see on these cars, not a overly expensive fix, and it fixes the issues with wind noise and rattling of the sunroof. January of 2023 at 45,000 miles, so that's 18,000 miles ago, 4 new tires, Pilot Sports, and an alignment. So the tires on this car have 18,000 miles on them. Pilot Sports, depending on how it's driven, 20 to 30,000 miles. So expect to do tires fairly soon on this car whenever you see photos, unless they recently replaced them at the dealer or something like that. June of 2025 at 60,000 miles, the ZLZ inspection, but it was not done. And so that is the sticky, deforming, delaminating dash, but it said they took photos, nothing else came of it at that service. August of 2025, a couple months later, so it looks like they were originally told that the carbon fiber was covered, and then Lexus changed their mind after the parts arrived and said that they're not covered. They went ahead and warranty replaced the left front carbon fiber door trim, but the front left and right dash pieces, they noted that the carbon fiber trim was not covered. So they got on the horn with Lexus customer service and brand engagement. 2 months later, October of 2025, brand engagement, they noted they covered both front carbon fiber pieces, and that's been what happened with me on this car. On my blue car, they didn't want to cover it, but on this one, under the ZLZ, so this got a new dash because it was sticky, but they also replaced the front 2 carbon fiber pieces under that customer service program. There's others that have had that success too, but there's several that they have denied. And so this is an instance of you have to be persistent, and that looks like what happened here. They went in for inspection, took photos, came back. They said, yep, we'll order them. They ordered them, went to go and get them installed. And they said, nope, we're not going to cover them. Talked to Lexus brand engagement. They said, yep, we're going to cover it. Go back to the dealer and it's covered. Got some hoops to jump through, but it does still work as long as it's under the 10-year in-service date. But that's good to see that like 6 months ago, Lexus is still replacing the carbon fiber trim on these cars covered under this customer service program. It's just they're not consistent whatsoever, and that makes it frustrating for you guys. I get that. And I've experienced both sides of it. I got it covered on this one, the blue one, they wouldn't cover it. And I talked to brand engagement, tried to do all of that, and they said no way. So I tried, and I just wish they would be consistent about it, and it sucks. So at that same service, they also noted that there were servo codes that were present. So that would be the HVAC servos. There's several of them underneath the dash, but they stated no work was done there and that there were 2 servo motors that were failing. November of 2025, 63,384 miles, they did the servo sweep. They noted that one servo motor on the passenger side after the servo sweep was still throwing a code, but they re-greased the actuator rods, which is typically what causes the issue that's binding, and reprogrammed everything again, did the servo sweep again, and it had no issues. So just know going into it that this car has had the servo sweep done, but it's also had the servo issues in the past. So if you're going to test drive this car, make sure it's fully up to temperature and set one side to max hot, one side to max cold, cycle through everything, flip sides, and if it doesn't respond, you've probably got some servos to replace. So it's already had all of the previous work gone into it, the servo sweep, the programming, all of that. So now, going forward, if you have any issues, you know that it's gonna be servo time. So you're gonna replace some of the servos. The dash the dash has to be removed in order to replace a few of them, but there are some on the passenger side. You can remove the glove box assembly and you have access to it there. So what's not done? The 60,000 mile service, it's overdue by about 5,000 miles right now. So that's spark plugs, brake fluid, sort of the in-depth inspection. Otherwise, this car being 10 years old, I would look at probably replacing the drive belt, the rubber parts, things like that. I would inspect the radiator hoses, the other rubber parts, being that everything is now 10 years old. The TVD, torque vectoring differential, don't see where that's serviced. I don't see where the transmission has been serviced either. The valley plate has not been done, or if it's been done third party. This car has had some third party work. It's not exclusively dealer serviced. So I would do a pre-purchase inspection and see if the valley plate is leaking. Shocks, 2017 through 2020 had the adaptive damping shocks, the AVS, and they were known to leak even when they were brand new. So this car, some of them leaked when they were brand new, some of them made it to 70 or 80,000 miles. This car has had none of them replaced, at least at the dealer. So inspect the shocks, make sure they're not leaking. They're not overly expensive to replace. However, it's something you need to look at. So the ZLZ, the dash, it sounds to me like it was done. I'm not 100% sure if the actual dash was replaced or if they just replaced the carbon fiber trim under that because they were persistent through Lexus brand engagement. But the rest of them are original. So we know that the driver's front left door has been replaced on the carbon fiber trim, but the passenger side front has not, and the center console has not. So the other three have been replaced, but the other two have not. So if they are not delaminating, they could in the future. The front lower control arm bushings, don't see where those have been done. Look at the insides of the front tires. This car's probably gonna need tires and probably going to need brakes. And so not surprised there. It's just kind of the usual things. So that brings me to, would I buy this car? Highly dependent on their asking price. Now, if this car is like 60 grand, no, I don't think I'd be interested. It's fairly well dealer serviced. It's got most of the stuff done. You know, the servo sweep's done, the ZLZ's done, the other things are done, but it just needs a 60,000 mile service, the fluids, maybe a belt, brakes and tires. The usual suspects that you see when looking at these cars, they always need brakes and tires. I think I'll reserve judgment until I see photos, but if it's priced right, it's probably not a bad car, subject to what it actually looks like. And so get yourself a pre-purchase inspection if you're considering this car, and just hopefully the price is fair. And if it's, you know, the price starts with a 4, jump on it, because you will be money ahead as long as it's, you know, physically everything looks fine otherwise. But yeah, it seems like it has good bones, it has good potential, but it just needs a little bit more investigation before I would say, yep, go buy that one. And so it has the makings of a good one, and so I guess time will tell if it is one. VIN 2400. Thanks again for watching, guys. We'll see you soon.